Great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ted Phillips. I'm the chair of the JEA Awards Committee. I'd like to call the January 16th, 2025 awards meeting to order. We have a physical quorum present represented by myself, Ted Phillips, Jody Brooks, and Habu is here for Ricky Erickson. OGC is represented by Rebecca Levy. Budget is represented by Stephanie Neely. Did we receive any public comment via email?
No public comment. Her mic is not working.
Okay, that's fine. We have no one here in person. Is there anyone who is on the call this morning from the public who would like to speak up? If so, unmute yourself and you have the floor. Hearing none, we will move on to today's consent agenda. We have items 1 through 6. On the consent agenda. They have been approved by procurement, budget, OGC, legal, the business unit VP and chief, and are ready for the awards committee. Before we take a vote on the consent agenda, is there anyone on the committee who would like to move anything to the regular agenda for discussion or defer anything until another week?
Ted, I'd like to just have a discussion on 4.
Okay.
From the regular agenda on the streetlights.
Okay. Any other requests? So our amended consent agenda will be items 1 through 3 and 5 and 6. May I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
So that was the motion by Jody and the second by Hy. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is adopted. So we will just make item number 4 of the consent agenda now item number 4 of the regular agenda, if that's okay. All right. So we will move to the first item on the regular agenda, and that is for Gallagher Risk Management Services for our property and casualty insurance brokerage service. So I think there was a pretty good breakdown in the description on why we went with Gallagher for the brokerage fees. I was hoping maybe someone from the business could just give a brief overview of how the broker works to make sure that the premiums are at the best cost, because the brokerage fees were around $800,000, but the premiums are $31 million. So is there someone on the line that could maybe walk us through that real quick?
Sure, Ted. This is Joe Witten. I'm manager of risk management services. I work with Gallagher for these services. Gallagher's been with us for 5 years, and we've worked hand in hand, and I'm pretty familiar with their product. They are located in 130 countries and actually employ over 52,000 employees over the world. So they have the expertise and they understand the trends of the insurance market for every type of coverage or coverage needed. They do business as a utility in the world of man-made and natural disasters, along with everyday incidents that are beyond anyone's capability to pay out of pocket for settlement. JEA needs these insurance policies to keep our expenses at a minimum when the unthinkable happens. To manage the insurance premium rates, Gallagher does business with many other businesses our size and larger, so they know what the rates should be each year. If an insurance carrier proposes an amount that is out of the norm or completely unreasonable, Gallagher has the capability, experience, and power to go back to that carrier and negotiate a better rate. JEA did competitive bid to receive multiple carrier proposals, and after scoring these proposals, Gallagher scored the highest, not only for their lowest yearly fixed rate for their fees, but also their expertise with utilities and other businesses in the market. From working with Gallagher for the past 5 years, they've always checked in with what the market is doing around the world 2 or 3 times a year so they can keep me and others in the company informed of any changes that are going to affect our premium and our renewal costs each year. And they are also extremely responsive if we have any questions about our current policies or if we need specific coverage. If we don't have a policy that's actually meeting our needs specific to that specific project, they'll even put together a policy specifically for our needs, draw it up, and that is a JEA policy that is not anywhere else in the world. So they meet our needs as we tend them to be. And Gallagher's dedicated to keep JEA's insurance premium rates at a minimum. And you can see that through the products they provide to us on a yearly basis.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that explanation. That satisfies my curiosity. Did either one of the other members have any questions about item number 1 on the regular agenda?
No,
Ted, it's-
one thing.
Go ahead, Joe.
Could I just add to that?
Sure.
It's Joe Orfano. Out of that 31 million, a significant portion, 20 million, or roughly 65% of the total is for property insurance, and that is for all of our facilities. I've had experience with a number of other brokers during my career, largely with investor-owned utilities. Gallagher came in, as Joe pointed out, 5 years ago. They've done a phenomenal job keeping our premium increase. We are seeing increased premiums, but the premium increases have been largely in line with inflation, and that's unbelievable in light of this current market. So I would just like to echo Joe's sentiments and say that Gallagher and their procurement of our insurance is world class.
Thanks, Joe. So I
Sure.
would go ahead and entertain a motion to approve item number 1.
Move to approve.
Second.
So that was Jody with the motion and Howard with the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion is adopted. Right, we will move to item number 2. So so my question on this one was the award amount is $6.3 million, but the business estimate was $630,000. So I guess I was just curious, how did we miss the boat so much on that original estimate? Was this? So I don't know, Jody, if you want to answer that, if you've got somebody, is there somebody else on the line would like to answer that one? But I was just, that's
Hey,
a lot different.
Yeah. Good morning, Ted. This is Jacqueline Vu. With this project, it's gone through a number of years, working with the agency to develop an approved remedy. And that's on the environmental side. Over time, we've also realized that the facility has a need for for additional use of that property. So we expanded the project to also include the expansion of the parking lot, and with that also included a enhancement of the stormwater treatment features out there. Because this is a cleanup site, Those stormwater features are more robust than a typical stormwater design. And so with that, and then the change of the consulting engineer, we did see those costs increase. So it was both a scope change and then also some changes during the design and the bidding process. We did review those numbers though, post bid internally, both with, with my team and then procurement. And it is in line with cost that we're seeing, just the increased cost across the board.
So Jackie, are they in line with the work they're doing at Kennedy? I mean, is it comparable from a pricing
It
perspective?
is, yep, absolutely, Jody. And so that's what we looked at because it is very similar. We do have higher certifications required of the contractor in order to perform this work. So with that comes the additional cost increases. So they are handling material that is impacted.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt item number 2.
I vote so moved.
Have a
Second.
So that was Ty with the motion and Jody with the second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion for ward number 2 is adopted. All right, so move to number 3. So this was a cost reimbursement agreement with Anheuser-Busch. It looks like we're moving a force main and or relocating a force main and abandoning the current main. I was just curious on these where they're cost reimbursement agreements where we don't actually do the bidding. It looks like the customer is the one who has done that. How do we make sure that we're getting good, good value for a dollar on those since we aren't a part of the process?
So this is Dan Crook in purchasing. We write into the agreement that they have to follow public procurement guidelines. So they have to advertise and solicit just like we do. And in this case, they received multiple bids and chose the low bidder. So they follow the same process that we do.
Okay, so that's how in agreement with that, we'll reimburse them, but they have to follow our rules.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on number 3? All right, so I'll entertain a motion to adopt item number 3.
So moved.
Second.
So that was Jody with the motion and Hal with the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the order is adopted. So we will move back over to consent agenda item number 4, which I guess now will be regular agenda item number 4. So all 4s on this one. So this is for streetlight materials for JEA stock. Jody, I think you were the one that had questions on this.
Yeah, and again, it's a pretty high dollar contract of $13.7 million. But my question has to do with the 4 bidders on the tri-state utility products. And again, I didn't look at the backup material. I apologize. Did tri-state bid on all 75 items or only pick and choose certain items? And why I'm asking that, their total bid was like half the final bid
Only
pricing.
$6.5 million.
So I'm just curious if they only bid on certain items.
They did. They only bid on certain items. They're not required to bid on every item.
Okay. And then we only selected 3 of their items, but their bid was so much lower than the others. I just didn't, I make the assumption that you went through and picked all 75 items and then awarded it to the lowest bidder of the 4 that bid. Is that a proper assumption?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So maybe in the future, like when we show 4 bids received and the dollar amount, maybe in parentheses, we could see the number of items, that might be a little bit of help. I mean, I know not every item, one item might cost $1 and another might cost 10,000, but that would still give a point of reference.
Yeah.
Yes, we can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Thank you. Any other
Yeah,
questions
Ted,
on number 4? Okay, go ahead.
This is Kenny Pearson. I was just going to add some context. So this is it's not all just street lights. It's also poles and brackets and banner holders and things like that. It's a wide array of items. So that's why some bidders will bid more items than other ones. It's just everything associated with our street lights and the street lights that you see throughout the city or throughout our service territory. That's what these are, and some of them are also just like replacement parts and components. So that's why you see such a wide array of pricing and also bidders that don't bid on everything because of that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Thanks, Kenny.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on number 4? I'd entertain a motion.
I vote so moved.
Second.
That was Howard with the motion, Jody with the second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion is adopted. So, that is everything on our agenda. So items 1 through 3 and 5 and 6 of the consent agenda was approved, and items 1 through 4 of the regular agenda were approved for the January 16th, 2025 meeting. Is there any other business that needs to come before the committee this morning? Hearing none, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone, for all your hard work and the good answers to our questions. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy your holiday Monday. See you next week.
Thank you.